It's living for that which will last forever. And this is a decision as God's people we must make. We must come to a settled conclusion. Okay, this is the direction I'm going in. If not, then there will be emptiness in my life as a believer. But the things which are not seen are eternal. As we go back to Romans, or as I go back to Romans, the 8th chapter, look at the very next verse. He says in verse 19, "For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God." This earnest expectation, it speaks of, or also can be translated as anxious longing. And the literal definition for this word in the Greek means watching with outstretched head, and suggests standing on tiptoes with eyes looking ahead with intent expectancy. You ever take a 4-year-old into 31 flavors? Expectancy. Craning the neck. On tiptoes. Man, there are a lot of flavors here. And there's a desire. This is speaking of creation, that creation itself is on tiptoe, waiting for the Lord's return. Because when the Lord returns at the end of the tribulation, before the tribulation, 7 years before the tribulation at least, we have the rapture of the church. So believers go. But then at the end of the tribulation, the Lord also returns to this planet to set up his kingdom, the millennial kingdom. And it will be at that time that there will be the grand restoration project, where there will be a makeover that the world, creation itself has been longing for. Creation is expecting, on tiptoe, waiting. Because the world that we live in right now, everything you see, nothing that you see is what it was meant to be right now, as far as creation is concerned. No matter what direction you look in. As Adam sinned, the first sin, with Adam and Eve, with that sin, the earth, the ground that we walk on, was cursed. The entire universe that we know was corrupted through one man's sin, one sin. And once again he says, "For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God." We are inseparably linked with creation, the earth, this planet. And mankind, you see, when man experiences restoration, when the Lord returns and we receive our resurrection bodies and come back at the end of the tribulation with the Lord as God's people, this entire planet will be in an Eden-like state. It will be restored. It will be a glorious place. In fact, the entire globe very likely will be a tropical environment, able to inhabit the north, the south pole. The whole thing's going to be rearranged, but it will be glorious. It will be beautiful. And the world, creation itself is waiting for that. As you look at creation right now, it's dangerous. You know, they talk about, well, you know, it'd be good if we could go back a couple hundred years and live the way they did, you know, and the pilgrims or what have you. But it was very dangerous being a pilgrim. It was dangerous living in the wild, wild west. You know, you've seen Little House on the Prairie, you know, Gunsmoke and those. It was dangerous. You know, it was outlaws. And then you had wild animals. You didn't have, a police force, really, a sheriff once in a while. But, there are volcanoes on tropical islands. There are, cataclysmic events. There's hurricanes, tornadoes, all kinds of. Nature is not always kind with us. And nature itself, you see, as we're going to see here, nature itself groans. Notice it says in verse 20, "For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope." The creature, that which God has created. All of creation is waiting to be delivered and has been made subject to vanity. And this word vanity, or made subject to vanity, means to be subject to futility, to failure, to frustration, and disorder. And that's what we're seeing right now. Creation, it's difficult. You know, we look in the animal kingdom, and the animal kingdom is it's literally a dog-eat-dog world for them. And if you've ever observed the little birds in your backyard, they'll land on your grass and they'll start, picking away at little microscopic bugs and stuff. But as they're picking, they got one eye looking up for a hawk, for a predator, for you, for me. They're sketchy. And that's because they know that when we're around, there's trouble. And not only we're around, but just being in nature. A shadow goes by and they take off. Any noise, even any sudden movement, and they're gone. Same with gophers, same with just creation itself. Come up to a lake where there's a bunch, as soon as you show up, and they run. They don't know you, but they know what you're about innately. Now that's going to be taken away. When the Lord returns and sets up his kingdom here, the animosity between mankind and the animal kingdom is going to be eliminated. And the child, the Bible tells us in Isaiah, it speaks to the fact that a child is going to be able to play with a lion. The lion will lay down with the lamb. Wolves, dangerous carnivores, apex predators. He'll be able to pet great white sharks and stuff. There's not going to be that problem with mankind and the animal kingdom, nature itself. That the curse will be removed. Right now we're living under that curse and you're seeing it. At night, maybe you go camping, say you go to Yosemite, and you're, this is a beautiful place, and then here comes a bear, hear a bear growling. Well, that's beautiful, but there's danger out there. One time my brother, camping at Yosemite, taking a nap in the afternoon on a cot, and a bear came over. He had his shoes off, and a bear came over and it was licking his feet.